going on?
Hey, neighbor. You see anything weird outside your house, you tell me, all right?
Dad, Mom's being weird.
Mom's always been weird.
What are you doing up here?
Don't let her in.
My son likes to play hide and seek. Can you bring him down?
I didn't say he was here.
You're a very stupid boy.
Can I help you?
Is Dylan home?
Dylan, down here, baby.
You know, your son Dylan?
I don't have a son.
He had no idea who I was talking about.
Listen to Mommy. Stay, Dylan.
He's gone. I know it.
I'd like to report a missing kid.
Are you okay, Ben?
Where is your sister?
I need you to tell me what's going on. Ben!
John Paul,
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Doing very well.
I like your last name a lot. Jeff Howard, John
Yeah.
Paul. Kind of common, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to me today. How you holding up with the quarantine going on?
Oh, we're doing great. I came back to my dad's in Colorado, and I'm staying here with him in town. In fact, it's a very, very limited population here. So.
Well, my family's from Grand Junction, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
Wow, okay.
But I'm the only one born in Las Vegas. But I spent many summers as a child in Grand Junction, so trust me.
Grand Junction's a great town. I think it's just a couple hours south from here, so I love going there all the time.
Well, cool.
It's a big city.
Well, thanks for talking to me today about The Wretched. And first of all, I love the movie. I thought it's fantastic. I got to speak to the Pierce brothers, and they're just amazing. So I'm just assuming you had the best time with these guys, because I had a great interview with them, and they're just such movie fans. And you can see it in The Wretched. You can see Jaws, The Goonies. There's so much in there, even Stranger Things, but it had its own identity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the first time I met Brett and Drew. It was over a phone call, and they were the nicest guys. We met over Skype, and they just wanted to kind of get a feel of who I was. They wanted to make sure that everyone that they were bringing onto the production kind of was, first of all, a good person. They didn't want to work with anybody they didn't necessarily like, and that also kind of brought their own identity to the film as well, because that's really what I think a film is, a collaboration of ideals and personalities,
And you reached out to the Pierce brothers. You sent them an audition tape. You took the first move.
Yeah, pretty much. I sent in my audition, I think it was January of that year, and I didn't hear back for several months. It wasn't until March they gave me the call back. I was like, really? No way. All right. Because it was such a cool script. I really wanted it, but 3 months go by and you're thinking, probably not much, but hey, worked out in my favor. So
It did. It reminded me a lot of Fright Night. I don't know if you saw that movie, where the teenager has a vampire that moves next door. So it was kind of like a weird version of Fright Night, because you kept seeing the wretch next door, but nobody believed you.
I actually watched Fright Night for the first time last Halloween, because after the festival run, a lot of people were comparing it to Fright Night and just noticing all these similarities. Like Fright Night. I'm not a horror guy. I actually don't watch horror movies.
The original Fright Night, right? Not the remake. The
Original.
Okay.
My dad's like, we got to watch the original Fright Night now. And I was like, okay, all right. And I just had a blast. And every single moment I was picking out all these similarities over it. All right, I get the reviews now. I get it.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing. And you're an experienced actor, but was this your first lead role? I mean, carrying an entire film?
My first lead role was actually in an independent film called First Dog. I did that one when I was 9 years old. And after that, I focused just a little bit more on theater in town and local towns. And after I wanted to get back into film, I got back in with a role in Hell or High Water, and
Which I
slowly.
love, by the way. I just absolutely love.
Yeah, thank you. That's like it's carried a lot of weight for me, you know. So after Hell or High Water, it just progressively got better for The Wretched.
Well, you're a teenager. You come to spend some summer with your dad, and of course, you know, they got marriage problems or like, you know, past things, and he's got a new girlfriend, and so you got some growing pains going on. But you meet this real hip character played by Piper. I mean, I think she was such a free spirit of the movie. I really enjoyed her performance.
Piper, oh my God, Piper's might disagree with me, but she is certainly a free spirit. And no, she wouldn't disagree. She is absolutely a free spirit in, you know, real life as well. She brought so much to the character Mallory, and we just had a blast every single scene we were filming. And one thing I always remembered was she's a pretty heavy bookworm. So after every shot, she's pulling out her book and just reading and laughing along with the rest of us at the same time. So she was just such a blast to work with. One of my favorite people.
Wow, Rebel is a bookworm. That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. And also, let's talk about the pool scene where you were going to get in your on-screen kiss. And what's her name? The actress? I can't pronounce her name. I want to mess it up.
Gabriella?
Yes.
Gabriella, yeah. She I was so nervous that night. Oh my goodness. It didn't help either that my grandmother came to set that day. You know, you never think about, you know, doing that pool scene in front of
you get out of the pool with your little backside exposed, and your grandma saw that?
She did.
You didn't go to, come on.
She changed diapers, so I can't really, you know, be too embarrassed.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you went to the Pierce brothers and go, look, guys, I know, but my grandma's here. Can you send her to the craft service table or something for a minute while we do this?
Yeah, she went away for a little bit, and I'm a little thankful for that. But that was a really stressful scene. I was really glad that, you know, I talked with the Pierce brothers, and hey guys, I'm really nervous about this. This is my first time doing this. Like, don't worry. We're just gonna do it once. We'll just move on, and it'll be fine. It'll be great. I don't remember what happened. I think boom mic got in, but we had to do it a couple times, and it was nobody's fault. It's just an unfortunate, you know, shot.
Well, you're a professional. So.
I try to be, but the worst, the saddest part was that I was so stressed out. I think Zara had a few scenes like that as well, where they were, you know, a little bit more showing, where she was naked, and she did it like an absolute pro. She wasn't nervous at all. And here I am like, guys, I need a robe, something.
It's not like they can clear the set, right? They got all the characters there all surrounding you, you know?
That probably didn't help. But.
So tell me about the first shot you had on the movie and the last shot that you were in the movie.
Oh, man. I'm trying to remember. The first shot we actually did in the film was me and Piper sitting in my room talking about the witch and like what's going on, and I've got Wikipedia set up on my laptop. That's the first shot I remember doing, and it was a little nerve-wracking because, you know, the first shot, it sets the pace for the rest of the film. I feel like for how you feel and how everyone else feels like it's going to end up. So it's a lot of pressure on that first shot. But by the end of it, you know, all of it's gone away and you're just having a blast and you don't want it to end. And so it comes to the final shot where I'm actually being drowned. That was our final shot of the initial production. And just a heads up for you, that was Lake Michigan. That wasn't any of the other little lakes that were probably warmer water. That was the coldest water I've ever been in. Being held under, I lost my breath. That's how cold it was. They forced me under.
Well, you know, me and the Pierce brothers, we had an argument about that scene. Not an argument, a discussion, because I'm like, wait a minute, you just stabbed your dad's girlfriend in the kitchen. The cops were there. They arrested you. Now you obviously, you know, like the cop kills himself, right? You escape. You have a dead cop now by the shoreline. We assume that you took the police car back to the house. Is how fast you got back there, right? And I'm saying, how in the world did Ben not go to jail, you know, with all of that? And we sat there and it hit me. I went, Dashcam. because they felt the
Yep.
cop. Yeah, I said there was a dash cam and they saw the cop was trying to drown you. So
Yeah. Then of course you got the dash cam. You've also, cops oftentimes have body cams as well. So
right. So, but I was thinking, I'm like,
Seriously.
how is Ben getting out of this? This is a
I
dead
know.
cop and he escaped, and it's, so that was real funny. But so tell me about, what are your motivations for those emotional scenes where you have to be scared, where do you have a technique? Because you just got to turn that on when he says action.
Oftentimes I enjoy just kind of sitting down and taking a moment before the scene starts, and I'll put on some music on my phone that I feel kind of puts me in the right headspace. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I love, like, if it's a really angry scene, I'll listen to like some heavy metal, or I'm feeling particularly angsty, let's go some 90s punk rock, and I'll just listen to that, and I'll just think back on anything I can really pull from my own life to help it feel a little bit more real. Because obviously with the scenes with Jameson Jones where we're fighting, it's not hard to pull a fight with your parents out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Um,
Draw on that motivation, huh?
and sometimes it was kind of real. I remember when the wretch is grabbing me, she's coming out of the tree and Piper's trying to pull me back. She grabs my leg and I just kind of look over with complete just disgust and like, oh my God, absolute fear. That was actually the first time I saw the wretch with her full makeup on. So, it wasn't hard to pull out that fear when you're looking at something.
That's so great to see that full makeup
disgusting.
too. In a world of CGI, I love going back to the old fashioned, especially for an actor to react to that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was definitely one of their points. Brett and Drew made. They just want to make it seem as real as possible, and it gets the best reaction out of people on set and off.
And of course, the climax of the movie, you go into the tree. Was it as dirty as it looked on screen?
It was. So we actually shot it in 2 different locations. We shot a lot of the tunnels in a stage in Los Angeles months down the line, and so the first cave was really just that wet area, and I'm walking around. I had to change pants several times because I just kept getting soaked. And I'm just covered in mud, and poor Madeline, she plays the wretch. I just remember she's crawling on me at one point, and she's drooling, and she can't help it with the prosthetics she has on. It's all the blood is just going down from her chin. She couldn't really help it. And so she's just like crawling on me. She's like, I'm so sorry. Trying to suck it all. I'm so sorry. And so I'm just covered in mud and fake blood and water and sweat. And we're there for 12, 13 hours just crawling through it.
And I'm glad you went back for Piper's little sister, because I was like, there was a hesitant in the movie where he's going to leave her behind because she kept saying, where's my little sister? And I thought, is Ben going to leave her to the wretch? And you went back. So that's good.
Well, the hard part was, how does he even know where she's at? It was kind of just luck. She didn't make that little, cough. Probably just would have left her, to be honest. But, I think the one thing I'm glad for, or happy about most of all, is that the dog didn't die in the end. That was the one thing that was going to just cross the line with me.
Oh, you can't kill the dog. No way.
No.
Every movie there's a dog, from Independence Day. We could sit here and name 100 films. The dog always survives under the most ridiculous circumstances. So,
absolutely, yeah, it needs to. That's just crossing the line.
And sequel ideas, because if the wretch never dies, there's always going to be a sequel. Have they floated any sequel ideas to you, or is it all secret?
No, they are so secret. Are you kidding me? I lived with Drew for a few months during pilot season. It's a little fun fact for you. And I stayed in their guest room. So every time I would come out, they would be working on the film and editing it. They didn't want me to see it until its premiere. So I'd come out. All 3 of them, they just pause. What's up? Just gonna go grab some food. Okay. They'd wait for me to close the door. They're just sitting there. They're very secretive.
You made the film. What's so secretive about it? Is this the final cut?
They really just wanted the reaction. They wanted me to see it come together because I'm I'm the kind of actor who's like, I don't really like watching the things I'm in. I could kind of, you start nitpicking, and they're like, well, we don't want you to nitpick whatsoever. So we're just going to show you what it's going to look like with everything in there, which in the end I really appreciated. I feel like sorry.
So finally today,
yeah.
The last question, I got a problem with the film. I told them about the cop being killed and you not going to jail. And the one with you is that the bully should have got his just dessert. It just made me mad that all you did was just like empty trash in his dad's boat. That was not enough for what that guy put you through. He needed the wretch to visit that guy, Now that drove me crazy that this is the only movie where the bully, not just once, but multiple times harassing you bad, that he didn't get his revenge, and he just got scot-free. Hey man, did you put trash in my dad's boat? No. The wretch needed to show up and just, whisper in his ear and just make him walk into the water. I don't know, something.
Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of actually, now that you say that, I really wish that would have happened because, Rich did such a great job with that bully, though. It was kind of funny because he's like the nicest guy on set too. And so
they always are, right? The guys who play the bullies are always the nicest guys, right? So,
and oh man, because when I read it in the script, I must have misread it because I thought I beat him up. I was like, all right, cool. I seem like a bad mamma jamma. I'm gonna kick his butt.
Especially from a broken home and your anger, man, you could have just had enough and just belted him or something, especially in front of the girls. It's like, stop being such a wimp. What point? You can fight a wretch, but not the bully.
Well, to be fair, I fought the wretch with a gun. That did help things a little bit.
That was another cool thing I told the Pierce brothers is that you can throw salt in its face. You can shoot it. You have some sort of defense because horror films where the characters can't do anything to fight back. It's just, I don't buy it. But you got to throw salt in its face and it let go. I mean, that's cool. So that's fun. You have a little level playing field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always annoying when you see like one of those old horror films where they actually manage to like shoot the bad guy 10 times and then they just stand up, and I'm like, really? Come on.
Well, man, great job. I love The Wretched. It was such a throwback, and it was a good time. And thanks for talking to me today. I really appreciate it. We'll have to talk again soon.
Absolutely. We Howard's got to stick together, right? Oh,
of course, man. I love that. I'm gonna get a shirt with that on there.
Howard's, yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day.